It's my pleasure again to introduce one of our two head coaches over here, who's not a stranger to the Sun Bowl. He was here in 2018. He is currently in his 8th year at the University of Pittsburgh, and we couldn't be happier to have them and Coach Narduzzi. We think he consider him a friend now. And again, he's not a stranger, and I'll just leave it at that. And I'll introduce him. Let him talk. It's about him, not about us, not about me. Coach Pat.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Bernie. Really appreciate you again. More than a friend. We see each other once a year, whether we're in this bowl game or not. Maybe twice a year. At every different event, ACC Media Days. So it's my pleasure and our team's pleasure to be here at the Sun Bowl, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Our kids are excited. They've had a great week from the troops, and I just got back from Children's Hospital, so I apologize for being a few minutes late. But we've had a terrific time. The weather's been outstanding. Yesterday was probably the most average day, but it's beautiful today, and we're looking forward to a great game tomorrow at noon. Questions? Okay.
And how has the week of practice gone and practices leading up to the game?
Yeah, Jeff, it's been great. I mean, I think it was Eastmoor High School. Eastwood High School. Eastwood High School been outstanding. A lot of the coaches were out of practices. Our kids were energetic. Again, the facilities were terrific, and it was beautiful. I mean, we had everything we needed there. The hospitality's been great, and our players are prepared. We're ready to go, and excited to see what we can put on the field tomorrow noon.
Coach, how many of your players were here in 2018, maybe as true freshmen, redshirt freshmen, what have you, and are back this year? And how much has that experience maybe been driving those players that were here this year? Yeah,
that's a great question. I don't have a number fact on you, but I would guess maybe 10 of them were here in 2018 for the Sun Bowl versus Stanford. So I would say probably 10 of them. And really, I think 5 years ago they forgot a lot of what was happening, and so I don't know how much that's helped us through the preparation. But our kids are they're eager and smart guys. They got it all figured out, and they've had a great time.
Coach, you're without Slovis, and I know you're confident in what Nick can do, but if you compare and contrast them, what do they both kind of bring and not bring, and how does Nick kind of fit in? Yeah, I mean, the difference between what we had, most of the season with Keaton and what we've got with Nick Patty, you got a guy that's a little bit more elusive. He's an athlete. He'll scramble. If you just put on a second series of the Peach Bowl a year ago where he scrambles for a touchdown, that's what he brings to the table. He's going to have a little bit more escapability. He won't be kind of a lame duck in the pocket, so say. So he brings that to you. He's got a great arm, and he's a competitor. And I know the guys in the huddle, the other 10 guys, will play their tails off for Nick Patty when he's in there.
Pat, there's been some speculation, and nobody really knows about UCLA's opt-outs. How do you go about preparing for two quarterbacks? You know what? We've done that before. In fact, the last game of the season, we didn't know if TV was going to play or not, Tyler Van Dyke. So it's the same thing. We're not worried about it. We're preparing for their starters, and if they're not in there, it'll probably be a little bit easier. But they got great players, starters, backups, it doesn't matter. So this one I think is a little bit easier than it was at Miami, not knowing in that final game of the season. So their quarterback's athletic, he can run, and we'll figure it out. They got great players. What do your spies tell you?
I wish I had spies. I don't have any spies. Chip was my best spy, Jerry. I was talking to him last night. He didn't give me any scoop, so no scoop. I wish I had some scoop, but they kept it pretty tight over there, which doesn't matter to us. We left ours pretty open and let our kids make their decisions and put it out there.
Is there a rushing attack? Have you faced a rushing attack that maybe is as good as theirs at any point this year?
You know what? They got one of the best rush attacks in the country, and we've got one of the best run defenses in the country. And I think we're pretty much built for stop and run. So this will be a battle of the run game for sure with their rush offense. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, we don't have all our weapons on defense, so but I think structurally if our guys do what they're supposed to do and hang in there, that we'll be okay. But we face a lot of good rushing attacks in the ACC. Probably one of the leading rushers, and maybe EJ can help me out, but the Tucker kid from Syracuse has always been pretty good rushing the football. In the last 2 years, we've held them in check pretty much, and it hasn't been an easy day. It will not be an easy day on any running back, I would guess. Hope.
When we look at the rushing attack, but yours in particular, Izzy produced 71% of your touchdowns on the ground. I mean, is that a big hole not having him in the team, and do you think that area will be as efficient?
You know what? You're talking about Abanikanda not being at tailback. Yeah, Well, obviously Miss Izzy, who declared for the draft and is moving on to the next level. Rodney Hammond, Vince Davis will be the two guys that we can carry most of the reps there. And those guys have played a lot of football. Rodney probably would have played a lot more this year had he not got hurt early in the season. He's a guy that, there's a lot of people thought maybe he was the better back in the backfield. So we'll find out tomorrow.
And what are the intangibles you like about Nick? He's got battled through injuries. He could have looked at other options, but he stayed, with the program.
Yeah, I mean, Nick's a Pitt man. He's one of those loyal guys, and loyalty. I mean, I think about the word loyalty. There's not a whole lot of loyalty in this world anymore. In college football, pro football, it doesn't matter. Maybe in everybody's profession. So to me, loyalty's big, and Nick has been one of those guys that's been loyal. To this program, we're going to be loyal to Nick, and Nick is an athlete, and the guys will play from there. I think they're excited to play with him in that huddle.
Coach, each season a team takes on a unique personality. How would you describe your 2022 Panthers?
Oh, Larry, you asked me the hardest questions. Resilient. I mean, you think about where we were. We're a 4-4 football team, mid-season, and I would say they're a team that's together. But nothing was going to stop those guys. And to win the final 4 games, of the season, and with that win streak, and trying to put number 5 on there, going 1-0 in December. That's what I'd say. I mean, we just got a team that's going to go out and play. They love to play the game, and I love our football team. We got great kids that are fun to coach. They've been great down here. There's been no problems with bed check or anything like that. We got a good football team, and the kids are playing with the staff's families, playing cards, and just hanging out in the hotel. It's that's kind of who we have here, and it's a pleasure to coach them.
Yeah, I know you spoke when the bowl game was announced about you coached against Chip Kelly back at the FCS level. Can you just speak a little more about your relationship with him over the years?
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other way back. He's a New Hampshire grad. I'm a Rhode Island grad. He was the offensive coordinator at New Hampshire. I was the defensive coordinator at the time at the University of Rhode Island. So we faced each other way back. It's been a long time. I told him the other day he had better players than we did. He had, Jerry Azuma was their tailback. For me to remember, running back's name, played for the Chicago Bears for a long time. They had a fullback named Kreider that played for the Steelers for a long time. So, I mean, they were a good football team. He did a fantastic job, and it's easy to see why he's where he is today.
And what's unique about Chip's offenses? I mean, obviously the speed, but you face other teams that can play with tempo. But what's unique about Chip?
Yeah, Chip's got a great offensive mind. He's gonna change things up. He will scheme you up. There's gonna be a lot of angle blocks up front. I could see him splitting out. Probably a great place to sit would be in the end zone just to watch and see what their splits look like. I can imagine them doing some split things with us. Just trying to open up gaps and blocking down on the nose and wrapping a center around. I mean, they'll do some different things like that. I think that we got to be prepared for. They do some unbalanced stuff, but he's just got one of those minds that he's gonna come out with something different that we have not prepared for. And I could say that every week, but that's a guarantee, especially with the time he's had. That he likes to scheme you up and he likes to have that marker last.
How do they compare between snaps going tempo, maybe like Tennessee?
Yeah, they're not as fast as Tennessee. I think we had them. Their average about 23 seconds. If they get a first down, they'll go faster. Jerry, and then you'll see them. If they have success with a play, they're going to come right back and they're going to run it again, and then they'll run it again if they don't, if you can't stop it. So, but the tempo is not blazing fast. But there'll be series where they'll go 2 or 3 plays and snap it between 7 and 12 seconds as well. But Tennessee's going at that rate all the time, so we're prepared for the tempo. So that should not be a big problem.
And you discussed this year about the depth on your defensive line, and there were some opportunities for some guys in this game. Who have you noticed that were thinkers ready to kind of bust out or have an opportunity, or take advantage of their opportunity?
Yeah. Again, obviously inside, we're pretty old in there. But Deion Hayes is a guy that started to rep at Miami with 3 sacks. So he'll be the leader out there. Still expecting Haba to possibly play. He's still day to day. So he's not a young guy. Sam Okaluna is a guy that we're expecting big things. I don't even know what number is he. 17. I don't know what number.
Yep.
17. He played a little bit at the end of the Miami game, but he's a talented guy. He's going to be a star in a Pitt uniform in the future, and it's going to be fun to go watch him play as well.
Coach, if you get the win tomorrow, that'll be 20 wins in the past 2 seasons, something that Pitt hasn't achieved in several decades. What would that mean to you as a coach who's kind of brought in to bring consistency to this team?
It would mean a lot. I mean, I think, we've talked about that with our team yesterday, I believe. Just understand how big just going 1-0 this week would be, for their legacy. Those guys that, went out and played and won an ACC championship a year ago and then to go ahead and stack 9 wins the next year. It's quite an accomplishment, and I think it's great for our program if we can get that done. We've had a heck of a year regardless. We're playing a really good UCLA, number 18th ranked in the country, so it's an opportunity to finish in the top 25 as well if we beat them.
Two-part question. I know you spoke earlier this week about trying to catch up with Coach Golding. Have you caught up with him? And if you did he try to sell you season tickets to basketball?
No, I didn't get season tickets yet, but I'm guessing just by fate, we'll probably play them in the tournament this year. I think, our basketball team's gotten a lot better. But no, we've still not caught up yet. He's busy. I know he's got a game tonight. We got a game tomorrow, and I'll probably catch up with him after the game's over and really have a great conversation with him. But I just know from the voicemail he left me, the long voicemail he left me, that he was busy, and I wasn't going to mess up. I know how it is to be a coach. We exchanged our voicemails, and we're good.
Tyler Wilson brought an energy since he's come, and I'm sure that he probably felt like he had something to prove. What has he shown you this year? What do you expect from him tomorrow?
We were just watching, practice tape the other day, talking about Tyler, how impressive he's been. Like what a get that was. Just playing linebacker for us. Playing really to the field or the boundary. He's been an excellent addition. 1AA addition, FCS addition. We were just talking about it doesn't matter where these guys come from. It's us identifying who we like. They don't have to come from Alabama or any other program. It's just like picking the best players that fit what we do and what we need. And Tyler's been outstanding. He's got energy. He's fun to coach. He's got a lot of ability, and it'll be fun to watch him play his last game in the Pitt uniform.
Any more questions? Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate it.
Everybody good? Sure. Going once, going twice. Marty, it's all yours, bro.
Thank you, Coach. First of all, before I forget, I'd like to introduce our ACC representative from the conference, Mr. Kelvin Anthony Kelvin, all the way from Greensboro, North Carolina, representing the ACC conference. Welcome to El Paso. But I do want to reiterate one of the things the coach has said about his players. We don't say this enough. They're college kids. But you know what? I walk through the hotel, any of our events. Yes, sir. No, sir. Please. Thank you. They say hello to you before you say hello to them. One of the most pleasant football teams players I have seen in a long time. Because kids, most of the time, college kids are college kids, and they're caught up in everything. But these kids make it a point to say hello, say thank you, you're welcome. So just want to put that out to you, Coach.
Take their hats off,
fantastic.
too. They take their hats off, too.
And they take their hats off everywhere they go. Just want to say that because that doesn't happen a lot, but they are college football players, but it's been exceptional being with your kids, Coach. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you, Bernie.
Okay.
Exceptional with you.
Okay. And that concludes this one here.